Welcome to After Hours. I'm Sean, Bedhead Sean. We got Jeff, Richard, and Mark. Drew is somewhere around here, I think. Um, Welcome to another show. Question is, what's everybody up to? I know
Oh,
Richard
good.
had like 3 bouts of every cold he could find, I think.
Goodness.
I don't. I don't know. I don't. I don't recall any of that.
You don't recall any of that? I thought you were sick a couple shows.
Yeah. No. I think I had fatigue the one time and then a stomach thing. But your special show I missed because I was on a temporal investigation.
Ah,
Uh, how did that turn out?
It was good. I hate
Did the
camping.
timeline get fixed?
I hate camping,
No,
but the
we
rest
did.
of it was fine. There was a
So,
lot.
Richard, you coming down?
There was a lot of adult beverages consumed last weekend.
We can provide those.
So,
For you,
yeah,
we'd
no,
be
I
glad
was
to.
I was at an SCA event on the weekend. So
So is Canada finally not burning?
I'm sure we're burning somewhere. We're just not burning at quite the volume we were burning with about 4
All
weeks
right.
ago.
More importantly, is there anything else left to burn?
It's strange. I always have that sort of discussion too of like, where the heck are we burning when like several of these areas have been burned like 4 years in a row kind of thing, right? But
It was like, oh, Canada's hosting this year's Great American Smokeout, and literally the whole northeast of America was like, all you could see is
Under your smoke.
where's the building?
Yeah, we were getting a lot of that up here in Rockford. We had to. I mean, I was watching TV and the news cameras. You couldn't see past. You couldn't even. There's a shot of the bridge, one of the bridges here. You couldn't see the bridge, and then one day it's brown, haze all over the place, and so we had to close up the apartment and turn on the AC so we could filter the air. So, and it was colder outside.
And I can tell you, there was a couple news broadcasts where people were like, "Oh yeah, this is no different than California on a normal day. You can walk outside; it'll be fine."
no, we definitely had here in Calgary. We had weeks of what I'd call 11 plus, which technically the scale goes to 10.
Yeah,
But, like there's room on the other side of 10.
y'all are basically
that was here, too.
inside of a house fire.
We had was the air quality issues up here. Chicago had it worse than Rockford for some reason, but that's because of all the traffic and stuff.
Yeah, well, we spent 10 days at basically 11 at one point. Like, we had rain, which normally knocks it out, right? Like, we had rain, and it still stayed at 11.
I'm looking up at the sun.
So it was wet and smoky, which is a terrible smell.
Yeah, I'm looking up the sun one day, and on one of the worst days up here, and you could see the sun, but it's like you were looking through clouds to see it. And then if you look down, you didn't see what you usually could see from that distance. You could see things like 300, 400, 500 feet away.
Well, I mean, there was a joke a couple years ago where there were shots from Edmonton and even here in Calgary where we looked like we were like daytime in the new Blade Runner movie.
They're making a
It
new
didn't make
Blade
the
Runner
rounds it didn't make the rounds this time, but it was sort of like, yep, it was the same kind of like, yeah, it was terrible. So
Yeah, back in the day, it would have looked like an average day in LA back in the day.
unfortunately, I am prone, so the smoke is not great for me. I don't have a specific issue like many people like asthma or something. Like I just don't. My lungs don't react well to it. So, so yeah, I was trying to stay inside and not do things, and it was quite annoying.
During that same time, I-95 in Pennsylvania, right? In Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
And the governor of Pennsylvania said, "Oh, we'll get it up as fast as possible." 12 days later, it's working again.
That's right. There, they destroy a bridge, and 12 days later, it's back up, and traffic's going over it. It wasn't destroyed on purpose, though. I mean, it's not like went out of his way to explode underneath it.
It's just as fast as that thing got replaced. Yeah.
That, I mean, that, sometimes I wonder.
It got replaced at light speed.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. But yesterday we had the governor and several of the politicians in the area. We've been trying to get. We have a train. We got tracks running through like most American places, but our transportation was cut off back in '81. In other words, you can't use the rails to get to Chicago. So they announced just yesterday that Metra, the Chicago-based passenger service, is going to extend all the way out to Rockford, starting in 2027.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that is good. I mean, we were hoping for it back in 2012 2014 when we had when it was first announced, but now it's been made more official. They ran a train all the way here for the announcement, which is quite a bit more than what they did back in 2014 when they announced that they were going to do passenger service again. But this will be a Metra, like two times a day, two times in the morning, 2 times in the evening. What do you call it? It's a passenger, but it's I can't say. I don't know what it. Commuter service is what it is. See, Chicago is about an hour and a half from Rockford, downtown. That is. So, and taking the roads is like you get to Chicago, you're in a traffic jam no matter what time of day it is.
All right, which one of you is making the transporter? I'm tired of this travel thing.
That would be great.
Normally, Crystal comes on, and I know she's got a couple job offers, but she's talking about doing a get together at her house, which is in the mountains. And I commented, "Where's the transporter?" Because she's definitely nowhere near Florida right now.
Who is this?
One of our members, Crystal.
Oh.
She came on a couple episodes ago.
Two episodes ago.
Oh, okay.
Or no,
I was here for it.
It was 3. Because 2 episodes ago was the interview with Vic, and then the last episode was last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the topics that I said was a show and tell type thing. And we always try and plug events happening. Whoever's around, plug the events happening. August 5th, there's going to be the
Return Dog Boys
sorting house. And they posted some pictures of the people that are coming in costume.
Mm-hmm.
And so my version of Hagrid on vacation.
Well,
I didn't see yours.
Well, yeah.
Is yours here?
Yeah, there it is.
No, that ain't you. That definitely ain't you.
Yeah, that's me.
Uh-huh.
Back to Snake.
There he is, the Invisible Man.
Right there. That's me.
Okay. Well, I made an announcement on my Facebook page that
I didn't know that was you. I thought that was a girl.
No,
No.
that was Severus Snape.
So, Randy, one of the volunteers for the
Randy
group
was on.
that was on 2 ago.
Well, on my Facebook page, I
at-
made an announcement that in October, William Shatner is coming up here to. I guess they're going to show the Wrath of Khan on the big screen, and then he's going to follow it up with questions and all that, and talk about the movie and other things in October. But I also understand he already been down in Orlando doing the same thing. He did the
I think
same
it's
show there.
November.
Oh, it's in
That's in
November. Ours
November.
is in October at the Coronado Theater, which is like the big
Yep.
opera. There's a big organ there. You always have a show house with an organ in a big city. So this is where the organ is.
Then August 12th,
Right.
we'll be going to the Mulberry Theater to watch the Wrath of Khan.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I would love to go.
So,
But I am poor. So
if you
that-
remember, I talked about the prehistoric con,
yeah.
and that con raised money for the theater in Mulberry. So we're
Oh,
going to
my.
go to that theater and set up a.
We've got a table. We're going to hopefully be able to get, if nothing else, some snippets of film of it. Depends on the internet connection.
I
We're gonna
picked
meet and greet folks.
I
Let them
picked
know
up
who we
a
are.
con figure.
Yes, and there will be a drawing.
We're going to do the best con.
And the best one, the person in the best con costume
I thought it was the best screen.
with the best screen gets it.
It's a con figure.
Yeah.
And if you are looking for right now the old con stuff, possibly
Phasers.
phaser rifle or phaser, the Type 2 phaser, right there.
Look right here.
Yep, that ship. They are currently in most Walmarts on clearance.
Oh, wow.
I picked up that one for $17.
Oh.
Not bad.
Well, I was just looking up something here while we were going about. Chicago Comic Con has changed to something called the Comic Expo here in I believe it's in the area where the airport is, O'Hara. And
I'm just going to say this. It might not have changed the name. It might be a different con.
it may have.
Florida, if you look at Florida's cons for Orlando,
Mm-hmm.
For the last 5 years,
There's-
every one of them, one's become 2, which 2 become 4, which 4 become 6.
MegaCon, UltraCon, what was the other three? The ToyCon, AnimeCon.
Yep.
We literally have 1 month where there's no cons. The rest of them, there's 5 cons in Florida going on
Any
at all
given-
times.
Spooky
Yeah.
Empire is twice a
It-
year.
And in November, they will be having the annual Chicago Doctor Who Con in
That would be
Chicago.
fun.
Yeah, they've already got at least 3 of the doctors coming, including Christopher Eccleston.
Nice.
If you go, you got to check in the Daleks because you might find some phaser rifles and stuff inside of them.
Yeah, I'm missing a phaser.
Oh, we'll have to look.
Uh-oh. Have the pack leads been around? They're
Who?
grabby little things, you know.
Another thing, we all create things, and one of the things that I've noticed is there can be a lot of people that when people spend their time and energy and money creating something to show their creativity, people bash people for their cosplays.
Yes.
Have you?
Um,
Are you
Yeah.
new to this?
yeah, well, it
A
needs to
very dear
stop.
friend of ours.
Well, I agree it needs to stop, but I mean we've been asking for it to stop for 25 years.
We got
Yeah.
well. There was a couple examples at one of the Orlando cons. A girl decided to recreate the Weird Science poster. You know, the
Oh,
one
wow.
where she was in the crop top and the underwear. She
Sure.
had the costume and actually looked just like the poster.
She actually had the
Yeah,
exact
Katie Siegel.
And
Yeah.
a couple went on to bash her, saying all she did was get out of bed in her underwear and came in and crap like that. It's like, really? Just because you can't do it doesn't mean you need to bash others. And when I say that her costume was spot on,
Yeah.
it was the poster. You couldn't have went any different. And then, not going to say the group, and I'm not going to say the costume because it will point people out, but had a friend recreate a specific costume, and when you look at the pictures, she damn near
got it. Perfect.
it was screen accurate. And a lot of people made a lot of comments to the point where it's no longer fun for her to wear the costume, so she retired it.
Don't blame her.
She just finished it a short time ago. People asked her to do it, 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 and then those very same people did nothing but bash.
So when people are being creative, try and be supportive because you never know. We were all nerds and geeks in school, and I can tell you, getting bullied in school was bad. Getting bullied by the people that got bullied now is worse because guess what? You were bullied too. Shut up. And now that I'm starting to learn to sew, I can tell you it's not easy. And if a person goes through their time to create from scratch a full costume and you're downing them for it, yeah, you're a problem and you don't need to show up. But that's a little PSA that kind of irks me when you consider most of these people that go to cons are not people that just, oh, I bought this costume off of the rack. You can tell those costumes. And
To be fair to those people who buy it off the rack, you shouldn't be making fun of them either because that may be what they're capable of.
Well, I'm not.
As somebody who buys off the rack.
No.
Wait, how do you buy off the rack? You're as big as me.
Or I get commissioned, which is basically the same thing because I am buying it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not making it. I am wearing somebody else's product, whether I buy it from a cosplay company or I buy it from a production company or I buy it because I commissioned somebody.
But
You
normally those.
I don't care if they get it from Ruby's costume company. It's a single layer of printed polyester. I do not care. If you put the time and the effort, which are the more important, more valuable than money,
Come
as
here.
far as I'm concerned, and you
Come
did the best
on.
you could do, there,
Mhm.
and somebody bashes you, there's someone wrong with that basher. There's something seriously wrong with that basher.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, unfortunately, that diagnostic is human. But anyway,
Yeah,
Well,
you get what I
humans
mean.
are wrong.
Come here.
we've all run into that. Uh, I lost count of how many times I've, as a Klingon, cosplaying as a Klingon, where I've stayed in character and pretty much resolved the situation in while doing the role. But there are times where I've helped escort people out of a con and saying, like, you don't need to be here. It's, if people are going to be stupid, they can be stupid at home. They don't need to come out there and show off their stupidity to the world.
Yep.
Take the
Uh,
example of the kids. That's awesome.
yeah, it's basically
I still
you know
remember
what, concert for everyone, and that's the whole point. If they
last year.
spent if they spent $50 or if they just made it themselves, great. I don't have a problem with it. I have no patience for judgmental people. I
In
just simply tell them,
2022,
you know what, that you do you.
in 2022, we went to a con down south, and while we were there, this guy came in literally wearing the classic Halloween version of a costume. And what
Uh-huh.
Jean just did, that costume's awesome. This little kid did that and made this guy's day. And as the little kid walked around in front of with his dad, walked across the table in front of us, he pulled his dad's hand. And his dad said, "Yes." And he goes, "Isn't that what I wore for Halloween, Daddy?" He could have been judgmental. He could have said, "Can't you do any better than that?" He wasn't that young. Instead, that's awesome. Made the
That's a
person
moment.
feel good. I mean, that's the
That's
greatest
worth
kind
more than money.
If you got
Um,
nothing
You
nice
get
to
that like
say,
just
don't
right.
say anything at all.
And Richard looks like
right.
what's his face?
Oh, no.
Drew.
Billy Idol in the early '80s.
I'm worried.
Um, Drew. As far as I know, we're all set with the Haven for September at Phantasm. They're going
Oh
to be
yeah,
in the booth with me.
Cool.
I don't know what John's health status
they'd be
is right
nowhere to
now.
be found.
I
Yeah.
mean, too many things.
We've doubled up on this Special Olympics.
Yep.
Matter of
We
fact,
we will have a
co-coach,
donation thing set up for it.
I'm co-coach for the swim team in our county.
That's great. It's a wonderful cause.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
Oh, you hear him? Or is there a kitty over there?
Oh,
No,
it's
no, no, no,
you.
no.
You
We got.
hear the cat in the background meowing?
I hear him.
I don't know what's wrong with her. She gets like that every once in a while. This is the first time in a long time she's done
It's
this.
it's a cat.
Yeah, it's a cat
remember
thing.
remember Data attempting to train Spot. Good luck with that.
Mike's here.
Hello, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
How
Well,
many
that's
lines was that
Come here,
Otis
baby
spot?
girl. Pretty kitty.
But
Okay. She just got her back to me. She didn't even look at me.
is it a Siamese?
No, it's a blue Russian.
Oh,
Ah,
Well, I can tell you, a Siamese sits there and yells at you, and you don't know what it is. It's either feed me, pet me, leave me alone.
Pretty much
All at
it. You
once.
nailed it. Nailed it.
There, she came out by and let me pet her.
There you go.
No, I think she coughed up some hairballs earlier tonight. There were a lot of them.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah, cats don't waste any time about anything. It's over and out. That's it.
Right.
feed me, pet me.
Um,
Um,
John,
Hello, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
I think he's still muted.
Pretty sure he's still muted.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the mute button is on there.
Well, there's your problem,
If we can even.
right
Huh?
there.
Hello, Sharon. Unmute your mic.
Our friend Vic Mignogna is going to be at a Funko thing over. I think it's the 15th of this month over at the Rosen Plaza over in I Drive.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, guys, if there's an appreciation weekend and you're going up, if you got an extra seat, hey, I'm your guy.
Well, we overbill as it is.
Vic. Why didn't I not see? There it is. That's why I'm not seeing it. You saying this month? I know. I thought I saw it for August. I didn't know it was this month.
Well, of course, Volcon is July 28th to July 30th in Vulcan, Alberta, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're talking about cons.
God!
Oh,
I heard they're trying to get a bird of prey up there.
They've been talking about that for a while.
For it.
Yeah, it's supposed to be on the other side of town.
Oh, never the twain shall meet, huh?
Well, the idea, I guess that was the idea, but whether it'll actually go there, I don't know, because I know roughly where they want to put it, but it's like,
Yeah.
it seems like it would work better if it was with the rest of the stuff.
I wonder if they do anything special in Iowa, Riverside. That's supposedly the future birthplace of James T. Kirk.
Don't they have a plaque? At least?
Yeah, they
I
got
know
There's a
something,
bust for
something
Janeway.
there. They have they do, but they don't have a bust like they do in Bloomington,
Yeah.
Indiana,
Uh-huh.
Janeway. They just got a sort of the future birthplace of Captain James T. Kirk, and they do have a day where they do have parades and stuff, but I can't recall. I've never heard it.
Well, we have a bust of Spock here, or Vulcan has a bust of Spock.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It also has a Constitution 2 class. Now that there's a Constitution 3 class, gotta differentiate it.
I know. Yeah, no, and for IC, the Chinook did contribute to them with a video presentation. So look forward to that for IC.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know Georgia has the resting place of Roddenberry's dad.
Here come the pictures.
that's Gene Roddenberry's father.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I know that Georgia has some stuff there. Of course, if you're going to go and visit Georgia, you just wait till the Banfield weekend. and go play at the Neutral Zone Studios and take a train ride at their train station around the corner.
Of course, you can
Is
always
that-
go to Dragon Con also in Georgia.
Uh-oh.
Well, there you go.
Shh. Hide your garlic and steaks.
Hey, Relic Nest, John.
Did you? Is it still 1:30 your time now, John?
Yep.
Okay. Time hasn't changed again.
Does it change? Do you have daylight savings time, John?
Yes. Do 1:30.
Okay.
Yep.
It seems almost weird that they have daylight savings time because of their prime meridian. But anyways,
Pardon?
oh, it just feels weird that you have daylight savings time when you're like the place where zero is, right? Because
England has daylight savings time. I'd like to know how they split up the country. We got 3 lines, and if you live on one side of the country or the other, you have family on the other. Oh, well, we can't call them now. It's 1 in the morning. Oh, we can't call them now because they're at work. Oh, we can't call.
I believe the entire UK is in one zone.
It better be.
Yeah.
Well, John, is it all in one zone? The time zone?
Yeah, still one. Yeah.
So the whole nation either jumps forward or jumps back? Pretty much.
You think you don't like it? We've got 2 extra zones in Canada, Drew.
You guys always bring the fun. Come on.
Yeah, but we have the extra for Alaska and the extra for Hawaii.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Yeah, you're right.
And if you drew a line directly down you'd actually touch the area Hawaii's in. I don't see why they just don't slap those 2 together.
Oh my.
What's
Well-
2 or 3 hours at sea going to make a flipping difference anyway?
Yep.
I like
This
Hawaii.
is why we should stop letting politicians make decisions.
Do you have any idea what would happen if they did that?
We'd all sit down and have a Coke and go, well, cool.
Well, no, but like the funny part is that how different all the time zones would be because politicians made decisions.
Yes.
Like half of Australia is not in the right time zone because
All of us would say no.
decision.
It's across the card. You know, the
And there are
guys in the
huge
UK
scopes.
and the guys in the US and the guys in Canada would meet up there at the border and say, I'll tell you what, here's what we're gonna do. You have barbecues these days, we have barbecues these days, but we're gonna flip them around. So every other day we just go back and forth.
I'm not really able to find fault in this, so yeah.
You know, and then those who hunt will be like, well, in order to have the barbecue, they're going to need some venison, they're going to need some wild boar, they're going to need some. I'll call my American friends. We'll all go up there. We'll hit the hill tonight.
Oh, don't worry. There's enough wild pork in Canada too.
Well, I was talking about the Canadians saying, go up there. You got more than we do. We've kind of thinned the herd with this a little bit too big down here. I think Florida and Georgia are the only 2 states left with massive boar herds. Everyone else, it ain't worth it.
Yeah.
It'd be easier to go to a dam and catch a goldfish. I'm telling you.
I have to admit, it's really funny. So I was at an SCA event at a semi-permanent site, right, where landowners let us use it. And there are 3 smokers on site.
Well, you know, that's important. That's a very important skill to have.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for somebody to build a still.
Oh, I think you should be looking a little harder to see if you can actually find it. It's probably already been built.
Well, I mean, it's lots of mead, right? Which is relatively easy to make comparative to many things.
But it just has a flavor all its own.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. There was I saw a TikTok video of a gentleman who's obviously from Antier, and he's talking about drinking with white people because he's of color, and he said, that there's a whole other level when you go to the SCA.
Yes.
They've got mead, and mead is awesome. It's a great thing.
Made right.
Had mead. You should go find yourself some.
Mead made properly. Now I've had some that I wouldn't give to a dying animal, but made right, it's as smooth as punch.
Yes, it is.
And it's got a mule roughly the size of a T-Rex to kick you in the skull as soon as you finish. Am I wrong, Richard?
The hilarious thing is, so many of us in the SCA, like mead is usually about as potent as a strong wine, right?
Right.
But we drink it in tankards.
Right.
So by the pint.
Exactly. Is there another way?
Well, I mean, theoretically, you should be drinking it like 4 or 5 ounces at a time, like you would drink wine.
Or you can put a little Demikis and sample it.
Wait a minute, hold my mug.
I did just be a man and make it happen.
I did purchase a smaller cup for sampling at the last one, where I bought a small ceramic cup that's about.
Is this one adequate?
Yeah, that'll work.
Richard, is this one adequate for mead?
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. That looks like
know. It's on my old ship.
I was wondering, because it's like, no, but like sometimes you get offered like something and you want to try it, and I find that a tankard's a little hard to try things because it always ends up with like, you end up with 4 ounces of something. Yeah. And if it's 4 ounces of something foul, and you're one of the people, if you're like me, who can't spill alcohol, and can't waste it, therefore must drink, even when it's terrible.
Oh, you got to come over. I'll introduce you to some that are smooth.
Oh, well, that's good. I always like smooth. I meant to make something that I call the Empress's Death, which is just, I happened to be at an event where I was introduced to it, and it was the drink that the Empress had drunk just prior to expiring, in this fictional LARP thing.
Right.
And I can't for the life of me, it has another more normal name, but I can't for the life of me ever remember it. I get told it multiple times, but I always forget what it is. So.
You're not an alcohol abuser. It's not a bad thing. You make sure it always has a nice, comfortable home to be with. Good for you, my friend. Good for you.
I meant to take a whole bunch of it with me to the event, but I didn't get things together quickly enough to do it. Mostly because I needed a 4-liter container to put it in. Because that's what happens when you put 226ers into.
Don't you have a place that has barrels? Aren't you near a place that makes barrels?
Well, yeah, but that's a little much. But yeah, I could do that.
Tell them you need a little one.
Damn, I need a little one.
They want a spout on that bad boy.
It's going to have to. It'll be fine.
And then you can set it up and say, "Stand up, me artist."
I at one point had a barrel, but I had to I had a tap barrel that was about, I don't know, I think a gallon,
Right.
and I had to throw it away. It got moldy, and I was like, "That's the wrong color," so it got pitched because I was like, "Nope, that's going in the garbage."
No, you gotta make sure they're sealed for the drink.
Yeah, it's
Don't do it. You have to ask.
that it's quirky. I didn't rinse it well enough when I was finished with it, and I left residue in there.
Bad boy.
It's true, and consequently, I had to pitch the whole cask.
So,
So.
nothing personal, Richard, but just for your information for future reference. It's about half full, and then cleaning it while you're still in that state. This is never going to work. I know I've done this by experience, so please avoid that if you can.
I just wish I could find the place that did it before, because you could have custom designs in for like $10 or $15 extra.
Yeah, I know.
And I seem to have mislaid where I had that website.
So, has anybody seen the news articles on the pickle man getting fired?
Yeah.
I guess in New York, there's a vet that for 7 or 8 years in a row has pushed around the pickle cart and sold pickles. And basically, he sells pickles and he gets commission off of it. That's how he gets paid for the Ridden Festival.
Right.
And he goes out before the festival for a couple weeks and walks the grounds. Well, he had his service dog with him, and the owner decided, no dogs are allowed anymore. And because he pointed out that it was against ADA rules, the owner fired him.
So what's he going to do when he owns it?
Well, I hope someone fundraises that gentleman a nice lawyer and go wrongful dismissal.
When it got on the news, the owner said, "Oh no, I fired him because the attitude he gave me." It was like, the attitude I gave you was because you were breaking the law.
Yep.
But
that sounds like wrongful dismissal to me.
Oh, definitely. Here, when you break the Americans with Disabilities Act, you can be in a great deal of trouble incredibly fast.
That just makes sense that you should be in a big deal of trouble.
Yeah.
I was hoping there would be a picture with this. Nope, not that one. But the Sterling Renaissance Festival, and a bunch of news organizations picked it up. Oh, there it goes.
Well, maybe one of those news organizations can or stations can go to bat for him. They usually have the clout.
Well, it's been on 3 or 4 news shows. Well, this is taking a while. But yeah. So basically, this guy was out getting used to walking the grounds because think about it. Any of us that hasn't done a walk in nature and is going to push around a heavy cart, you need to get used to it before you start it. So basically, every year he would go out for a couple weeks and get used to walking. And the owner said 2 things. It was, he first said it was his attitude. Then he said he wasn't supposed to be on the grounds when he wasn't working. And he went around talking to everybody, asking questions like, how much are the pickles going to be sold this year? And all this stuff. And it was one of those things. He talked to the owner 4 or 5 times before the owner decided the dog wasn't allowed. Then the owner said, oh, the dog was leaving a mess and he wasn't cleaning it up. The guy's like, why would I do that? I know the rules. Why would I make it so that my service animal can't be there? So it's one of those things of, yeah. At this point, that Renaissance Festival has had enough publicity.
Yeah.
To me, it would be a, hey, let's pick at this Renaissance Festival.
Yeah, they just
However,
like to have a lot of business. The other vendors will probably say, we don't need this.
The pickle man said this. He goes, if you do go to the fair, do me a favor, go up to the kid that's forced to do the pickle cart, because it's a pain in the ass, and ask him how much he's getting paid per pickle. Because they were giving him like 20 cents per pickle. And he negotiated to get it so that it was 75 cents a pickle. And it was one of those things of he just wants whoever takes over to actually get paid to do the job correctly. So it was one of those things. He wanted it to be, hey, here's what happened. But he didn't go to the news. He posted on his social media. The news came to him for it. But like he said, whoever is forced to do that job because that guy made that choice, his main thing is make sure that they're paying them what they're worth to do the job. So, like I said, even though it was shit, he lost his job. He was more concerned about the next guy getting screwed. So, it's really interesting how people think and decide to talk. But I believe he does have a lawyer. And in America, if you break an ADA rule and it's reported and it's factual, the government actually pays for your ADA lawyer.
Yep.
Excellent.
And
that's very unlike your.
Deep doo-doo.
I was working for a nonprofit, and it was a drug rehab for teenage boys. And one of the employees would come in at if he was scheduled at 7, he would come in at 6:15, do the rounds. If somebody needed to leave early or whatever, he would put down his normal starting at 7 o'clock. But if he did a double, he would leave when he'd leave 15 minutes early and still get here at 6:15. Well, they fired him for the leaving early thing and not changing his time. But they didn't consider that every day he came in, he was starting work 45 minutes early. So when they fired him, we were like, you can go to the labor board and tell them that you were coming in 45 minutes early, and only on double days did you leave the 15 minutes early, and you didn't change your time because you were actually here longer than that time. He ended up getting $15,000. And the rest of us got all of our overtime because we would come in at least 15 minutes early to do rounds to check the grounds, and we weren't paid for it. So basically, they fired a guy and caused themselves to lose throughout the company. I think it was almost $500,000.
Yeah, they didn't think that would come through, did they?
No, they don't. They didn't consider that some people were probably coming in working off the clock, not thinking about it. Just, hey, we got to do the rounds before we start. and they knew that they were scheduled 7 to whatever, and they just put down 7 o'clock or 11 o'clock. And they had to put in time clocks and all different types of stuff that cost them a lot of money. So, and that man had to spend this much of his money when it came down to it. He got unemployment and he got that $15,000 for overtime. So, yes, it is weird when certain situations the government is set up to protect things. However, a lot of the things that the government is protecting is getting taken away lately. So here's to praying, because that might not be the same next year.
Mhm.
But yeah, those are two situations: ADA rules and labor rules, where you don't get your pay that you're supposed to get paid, that you don't actually have to get a lawyer. The government actually sues the company on your behalf. That I do know works. But few and far between. Everything else, you got to get a lawyer. So, Jeff, are you going to any cons soon?
Uh-oh.
Jeff, are you awake?
Hey, Jeff. Oh, boy. Frozen screen?
Nope, power nap.
Okay.
Okay.
Like I said, August 5th is our next con. August 12th is the movie at the theater in Mulberry. For SFI, the VIC is August 11th, 12th, and 13th. July, I believe, 15th and 16th. Oh, crap, that's next week. I think July 15th and 16th is the Haven with the museum in Orlando. I'm trying to think of everything. Anybody else have anything coming up in the near future?
No, just the virtual IC coming up.
Oh, he's awake now.
Oh, you've noticed. I did doze off.
I said, yeah. Anything going on, and you just sat there like this.
Yeah, I was trying not to do that, to tell you the truth, guys.
Hey.
No, I've got an ailment in my eyes. I don't know if anybody, and if somebody out there has it, I would appreciate you identifying yourself. All eyes, your eyelids, the eyelids underneath are have duct valves, which have oils which keep your eyes moist all the time. Well, mine are all plugged up.
Oh,
Thus,
geez.
I'm in tears all the time. In order to have my moist eyes, I have to cry practically. The only way to, I guess, clear that up, special mechanism thing put around the eyes costs like $200, $600 a treatment. I'm going, nope, they don't have that kind of money. So I suffer. All these things are clogged up. If I look like I'm crying, am crying because not in the traditional way, of course, but because my eyes are producing tears to keep it moist.
I just thought you and Mike from the Connie had something similar.
No. Does he?
My brain.
Oh,
Where he
Mike.
falls asleep, he's narcoleptic.
Oh no, I'm no.
Oh, it's John, not Mike. Sorry.
No, what I do is I close my eyes for a few minutes and open them up. When I don't open them up immediately, that means someone needs you. Hey, Jeff, wake up!
We did that.
I didn't hear you. I was gone, I guess.
We tried.
Well, I'll tell you what. I bought this little neck pillow to
Mhm.
see if it was more comfortable to sleep with.
I have one of those,
I
and
went to
every
lay
time I
back
put
down
it
to
on,
get
I
a
feel like
couple
I'm.
hours of sleep, and then I was planning on either sewing or helping Mike and Drew. Next thing I'm waking up, Carol's coming out going, "Are you awake?" I'm going, "I guess so." She goes, "It's 7." I'm like, "What?" It was just 1:30. What?
You did something called sleep.
Oh yeah, I had passed out, and you can
Well,
ask Mike. I don't sleep
yeah,
like that.
I was every week, and
Oh,
and
yeah,
Region
let her
12. Pay attention to this Region 12. Every week we have a video call off Zoom to have a trivia contest. I think a lot of chapters do it. A couple of regions do it individually. This is sponsored by the region. I know John's been a part of the trivia contest in Region 12. Where were you, John? We missed you last week.
Last week, I was on another chapter.
Well, what happened this week? We had a little problem with the program that we use to produce the online. You got like 4 choices of a thing. You either choose one or you do multiple choice double points. So halfway through, the system went down, and not from our end. It was on the end of the programmer. It just went out. So we have to. We're halfway through, and oh well, we had to end the trivia contest last week. But we're gonna have another one this week. 7:30. Go to the Region 12 Facebook page. You'll find out all about it. Make sure you have Zoom. Sundays at 6:30. By 6, we always gather between 6 and 6:30. So
Yeah, that's half an hour before I wake up to get ready for work.
yeah,
But
that is PM, by the way.
yeah, I go to work at 9 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
Get in my truck and get there by 10. But no, like I said, I did find that if it's made for awake and it has certain things in it, Sean can fall asleep with his eyes open.
Oh wow!
Found that one out last week. But yeah. So yeah, sleep. That sleep's good.
Mm-hmm. Well, I almost fell asleep I fell asleep, and just as they were about to start it, and they said my name, I heard my name said, and I woke up. I was already signed in and ready to go, so it didn't take much for me to just join in on the thing. I didn't miss anything, that kind of stuff. We've had a few problems on my end where the internet decides I'm paying a pretty penny for Comcast and the internet so I can have TV and communications and internet and email and stuff like that. But some nights it's bad. So
that's why we call it com crap.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's why they changed it to Xfinity. Xfinity. But some night it just went out. And one night I'm sitting there and I get on, I get the first question. And then it happens. And the next 4 questions I miss. So I was going to say, you guys go ahead. I want to watch it. No, come on, you keep on playing. Okay, I played. It was like 44 questions, and guess what happened? Can anyone guess what
You
happened?
win?
You
I
won.
won it. I won it. I mean, I couldn't believe that I won it. About question by question 22, I was in the lead and stayed in the lead for the rest of the time. In
Sweet.
fact, when we were when this one when it went out, I was in the lead. But I've been in the lead before and lost, so it's not
Not guaranteed.
yeah, it's not a guarantee. But usually I'm in the top 3.
Well, I did it a couple times with what is it, Cahoots or something?
Yeah, that's the name of the program that
Oh,
they
okay,
use.
yeah.
Kahoot.
So I had an account. I ran a couple things for chapter and for region, but I came up with all the questions. Therefore, I couldn't play.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens
This
when
guy
you're an
come-
organizer?
Eddie Allen III, who is the commanding officer of the Horizon, he comes up with these things every week. Him and Jim, I can't pronounce his last name.
I'm sure he's
Is that
cribbing
like the
from
third
various
couple of
trivia.
Oh yeah,
books.
he one time he found out that the answers were wrong. He had gotten it from some other source, and he didn't double check the answers. And we're telling him, no, that's not the right answer.
Yeah,
This week he was.
I had to check a few against Memory Alpha.
shit.
So I didn't find
Well,
any that
he's
were actually wrong, but I found some instances of like, well, technically A and C are technically right. The answer they want is A, but because there's a quirky thing about C, it became sort of like, well, yeah, but C is kind of legitimate.
Well,
God
about 2
forbid
weeks
if
ago.
something changes because you, like, the question was written in the era of Deep Space Nine, and now you're dealing with the fact that it's been modified by Discovery or Strange New Worlds or something, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely, I mean, obviously, that coming up with questions is difficult.
Oh yeah, I give
Just
kudos
no
to
shortage
Eddie
of-
every week for doing it.
Yeah, I mean,
I've thought about trying my hand, and I'm going, do I really want to do that?
well, I did. I mean, sometimes it's easier if you theme it.
And that's what he does. He does one he calls speed tracks, and you have 10 seconds to find the answer. And usually it's a pretty simple and easy one, but every once in a while there will be a hard one. So those hard ones, he gives you more time.
I had some comments about like that question is too hard or that question is too easy, you know, and I'm like, it's
wait, one guy got it. Who was it? It's Jeff.
It wasn't me.
But I mean, yeah, definitely. There's that kind of thing too, where you're like,
That's why I joined Starfleet. I found out they had an academy. I said I can use some of this inert information I have on Star Trek.
I realistically should do more academy, but I keep putting it off and putting it off.
There's a series of courses on the doctors of Star Trek. Phlox and Crusher, McCoy, the nurses, Angwawa, I can't pronounce that name, Angwawa and Chapel, and also one on of course Counselor Troy. And I took all of those, and I either was a distinction on I think one of them in Nurse Chapel. I only got a pass. So And they give you all the information. That's the strange thing. You can look at it. They give you the books that they base everything on, and they write it up. And that Academy does a pretty good job, and it's done online instead of sending you a PDF. I like those. I'd rather have them do the online ones like they do with the
Oh yeah.
SFPPD, the SFDDP, or whatever they're called.
They're still pretty well.
Which, by the way, is being put on hold, I understand, until the end of the year. So if you
Till
took
January.
if you took one for 22-23, which I did last year because I was comm chief, I was required to do it. It's good until the end of the year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, then a bunch of us are. I hope they stress test that because there's going to be like the entire fleet trying to take that thing in January because they're going to have 30 days to do it probably.
Right.
And not everybody in the fleet take it. My wife refuses to take it.
Well, I mean, and I've definitely had some difficulty with some members, and I'm like, well,
but then again, she's not in a.
You don't have to take it, but
Yeah, but
she's not in a
position
have
to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have on my ship. All the chiefs do take it because of the idea of if the CO and XO are traveling in a vehicle together,
Right.
And
Mike!
something happened.
Yes.
Yeah, Mike.
Not having.
Yes, I am here.
Yeah. No,
So-
I was wiping myself off.
Yeah.
Going, Mike.
But that's something that the chapter does because we'd like to make sure that we don't have it interrupted. Just because of the fact because quite often the captain and the XO travel in the same vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Right. And the
So-
XO
someone can
video
step in
needs
and
to
do
have
the
it.
job.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to encourage every member to take it only because the information is useful outside of Starfleet.
Oh, it definitely
yeah.
is.
Yeah. Which brings me to another thing. It has to do with the SFDDP, and that's I checked with my state on whether they had something like that, and they do, but it's only in reference to identification, thumbprint identification, facial recognition, that kind of stuff. It doesn't have anything to do with what the European Union did that started this whole thing. So it's not like our clubs, by our laws that we have to take these if you want to have access. They don't have it in Illinois. Just you have to be careful with identification here in Illinois.
Well, I mean, and that's the thing is that it's meant to comply with jurisdictions outside of the United States. There's rules about identifiable information, right? And that was what it was built for, and consequently, that is a large chunk of what the Resistance is about. The Resistance is we're a U.S.-based club. Why do we care? And I'm like, yeah, well, you have to operate,
Right.
And I've had that discussion with many people, and I'm just sort of like, but then again, I also have that broader sense of I am an international member, and therefore I also have that whole thing, as with John, I have that whole thing of Starfleet needs to be more internationally recognizable
And friendly.
Oh, right, yeah.
Because I definitely have had my share of people in the U.S.
Hey, Crystal. Yeah,
being U.S.-centric.
I had a friend who
she's at Shore Leave.
Had the first version of Star Trek Trivial Pursuit. I ended up writing to the creators because they got 12 questions wrong and I proved it. They corrected them and they paid me for each correction.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it is a Canadian company.
Yes, it is.
So that
And
would be on brand for us.
it is an incredible game as well.
Yeah.
Every part of
Played
it.
many versions.
Now,
I love
the next question I have is, what is our retired vaulted leader been up to? He's supposed to be doing a show on Friday nights, and we haven't seen hide or hair of him since his tenure ended, which I can understand because he'd want to have a retirement of sorts. But he said he was going to go on with the show.
He's got a few changes going on in his life.
Mm-hmm.
He's dealing with that and cleaning up the edges, so to speak.
He's now a homeowner.
Resharpening the edge because he's now a homeowner and understands the nightmare the rest of us get to go through. Woohoo! Anyway, that and he's still trying to think of a concept format for it. He was having a wee bit of trouble with that. I know he's reached out to Sean a couple of times. He reached out to me. We gave him ideas, a concept to think about. It's just
He was on 2
when
weeks
he's
ago.
ready. Cool. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, he popped in. He knows he's more than welcome to join us. And the best we can do is just say, "Hey, dude, stay safe, stay comfortable. When you're ready, we're ready."
No, I'm not criticizing him for that. I'm just saying we need to encourage him more. Get on here. Hey, if you hear us, Steve, we miss you. All of us.
Definitely. We get in touch with him about every now and then. We'll throw in a message, hey, Vampire said to say hi. We see you. And he just loves it. He's like, yeah, tell the guys I'm still thinking about it. I got some crazy stuff I got to do and some hoops I need to jump through.
Right.
We're like, cool, no problem. We know what it's like to go from not owning a home and renting everything to suddenly, when that faucet breaks, that's your money. That changes the whole.
Well, he did go through an awful lot during his tenure as commander in his personal life. There was a lot, especially that last year, that I didn't even know happened. And I feel for the guy.
It wasn't easy.
Yeah. I thought turning 65 would be bad.
I love it. What do you mean bad?
No, I think I had a little midlife crisis going on in my life, and I was rightfully afraid. I had a midlife crisis at 55 too. That was the age my mother passed away. Well, I'm worried. Will I have a heart attack? Well, of course not. I didn't have one. My brother did, though. He was 55 years old and he had a heart attack. But luckily he survived it. My mother did not. So.
Wow.
A car hit a wet what?
Car hit a wet spot in Lakeland earlier today and took out a power pole and put it in the middle of the road.
No kidding.
Oh my.
Sorry, it's close enough. I'm like looking at it going, whoa.
It's like this. If you didn't realize it before, maybe you know now. First off, asphalt is made with an oil. Second off, you put rain on there, the oil that's been dripping off of cars for years is now floating on top.
Florida ice.
I'm going to say this, though.
It's the best ski show you could possibly come up with.
Florida drivers, the ones that are native, know how to deal with it. People that retire here don't.
It's really funny. You see Florida drivers in a line and it's like, okay, the road's wet. Everybody slows down to the same speed. Everybody takes the turns and spots them the same way. Everybody, and then you see the guy who's tootling along in a motorhome and he's got his boat behind him and he's going like 65. It's like, well, we'll see him in the middle, let's say about a mile and a half away. There's two black clouds up there. That means it's going to come past, dump ton of rain and then move off.
No, if you want to know how you can tell if the person's a Florida driver or not,
Yeah, don't cause stuff like this on people.
no, Florida drivers don't turn their blinkers on, and go down 20 miles under the speed limit.
You know, the lady that hit us is from Philadelphia.
Jeez.
And her husband says, "Hey, I thought the doctor said you back home said you can't drive." She's like, "Shut up. They don't know that. And Florida just gave me my license online." That was like 8 years ago. And it's kind of like, there's three police officers behind you when you hit our car.
Hey, I found our half of our Christmas tree.
I already saved it.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
We've been thinking about making a sci-fi ship version of the Christmas tree, and I just found this.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I just saw that a few days ago.
Yes, and at the
Yeah.
very top,
Yep.
giving a weight behind it, we're going to put a sovereign class from above. Boy, started on the artwork. A day late and a dollar short.
Hey, I just found it. So as y'all see, Drew and Mike's been busy.
There's been some changes going on.
All the ships that were over there, where you couldn't see them on the show, are now over there.
Awesome.
Yeah, very nice.
That
And
thing's
as Drew
still light
said,
up.
Drew told me you didn't turn anything on. I'm like, I almost wanted to say that wasn't my job. I literally forgot about it.
Hey, does that Sovereign class map still light up?
Yeah.
Okay.
The
That was one awesome thing that you did, that thing.
I just forgot to turn everything on.
Uh,
But here, let's see if I can give y'all a better picture of
The
that.
Christmas tree chopper.
Here you go. And add that to stream. And then I will pop that into the solo layout.
Yep.
whoa.
Ah,
Hey, you got engineering in there, don't
there
you?
you go.
Wait a minute. How am I in the picture like that?
Thank you.
Oh. Okay, it is that one.
Well,
Yes. This sign right here.
That's a fine looking bird of prey up there.
That sign does say engineering. There's a warp core.
Tree topper. Tree
Christmas tree
topper.
ornaments. This one lights up as well. This one lights up as well. These are Christmas tree ornaments.
Oh, you put batteries in that one.
Plus, I have others. Which one?
But you said for that one you had batteries or something.
No.
Oh.
You mean that one?
Yeah.
No.
No. I thought you said the shit needed.
Oh, this one.
Oh, it's that one.
It's a battery pack.
And he does have a con as well.
I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him yet. I'm going to end up with another shelf going across here.
Well, hold on. Let me change it back to this
Yeah,
layout.
just turn the computer on.
Now they can see you.
See my arm when I went like that. Right here, I'm going to continue the shelf around. And then I'm going to go across there as well. So the shelf to put the ships on will be all the way around the room.
Hey guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to be able to hear you, but I'm putting you on mute.
Okay. Eventually, it will be 360, and there'll be a camera back there as well, so that it will show the kind of like it is now, showing the whole room.
Right.
Only you'll be able to see the full MSD and the Christmas tree that's over in the corner. He does have a Christmas tree with all the ornaments on it as well, and the Horgon and all. But basically, on one side will be all the Klingons and Romulans. On the other side will be all Star Trek. And I believe along this, he said all the miniature stuff is going there.
Yeah, you mean all Federation?
Huh?
Because it's all Star Trek.
It's
Yeah.
all Trek.
You said your Klingons and Romulans on one side, and then Star Trek on the other, and I'm like,
I just woke up, guys.
Well, it's like this. This back corner over here.
well,
that you
you've
don't see,
been awake for at least an hour and 25 minutes.
We'll have these two. The shelf will also have
No, Sean, I just woke up.
the first.
Uh-oh.
It's black. And I've got a few others. I still have the models I have to put together. They'll end up over there as well.
Yeah, you want to come over and say hello?
And then while the pieces are setting the way they should be,
Come behind me.
the DS9 will
Over
move
to this
the corner.
side. This side. That side.
And
See
when
that?
I finish my Sovereign class
Yeah. Here.
and my D, and because I
Okay,
have all the
lean down.
all the
I got
all
my
the
son Chris here.
Hey, Chris.
Hey,
Chris.
Chris.
They're saying
Yeah,
hello. He can't hear you. But I just told him you said hi.
Starting
He
over
got a
here,
little
I'm
hungry,
gonna
so
go
he's out
from
here
the
making a
original
sandwich for
Enterprise
himself.
to the Enterprise, which is back here, and it also has the Kobayashi Maru.
Uh-huh.
Then I'll do
The ship of mystery.
the B, the C, the D, and then in the very corner, I want to put Deep Space Nine. I will have to find a Voyager and all of those. And all of these Christmas ornaments and these over here will be hanging off this edge.
Well, you're going to have to start making a fleet museum there. And use
I think
the
he's telling
ornaments
you
as
he
part
wants-
of the
Well,
fleet museum.
I can give you a tour of the room here. Let's see. I got, anybody remember the original series, Sargon?
Yes.
Yes.
There's Sargon.
This one says Star Trek the original series.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
This one says Star Trek the Next Generation.
Okay, I didn't forget the Federation.
I'm going to make one of these for every one of the series.
You have a tour of the room.
They're going to be
There you go, guys.
where they should be, all the way up to the corner, which will have the first line. And then these shelves will be rebuilt in a different fashion. So the top two shelves will be nothing but display. And then, how do you want to take your tour of the Fleet Museum, Jeff? When I turn that into a Fleet Museum, how do you want to take your tour?
Well, when I approach it, I'll take the Universal tour outside, and then Doc can come in and look at it.
It'll be you'll be walking through this door, and you'll see them all as you go around.
Oh, okay. No, I was thinking you could make a model of a fleet museum But then again, a fleet museum would fill your room.
I was
If you were to make a
going
model.
I'm in the process of designing one that I can use and do this with. Only I'm going to do a fleet museum around it.
Wait a minute, that's not the one I want.
Camera's going the other way.
I noticed. How do I change that?
Double tap.
No,
We're looking at you, kid.
I know.
Just turn it around.
Oh wait, there it is.
Oh, he's using his phone, it looks like.
Let's see.
Yeah, there we go.
Now we got all of the views.
Wow.
The shelves will go all the way up to here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other corner that y'all never see.
The corner will be set up specifically for doing camera angles from there, and I will put a camera over there in that corner as well.
Right.
There's the entrance.
And here it is.
And then closer look on.
The Star Trek and bar.
Oh, I did forget the smaller section.
My Canar here. I've got Steven, but he's busy.
Or Tim Johns.
Or Tim Johnson.
Oh, Tim said hi, everybody.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
He's
Where are you, Tim?
Tim for CS.
B-17G, my father flew one of those. And I've had the opportunity to sit in the back seat of an Apache helicopter.
okay, fill off this set. I just wanted to see if it would work because one of the things that we're planning on doing eventually is offering streaming of what's it called, panels.
Yeah, the panels at cons.
For some of the cons that we work with, to be, if they have Wi-Fi, bring out the equipment and just stream the panels so that a con that has a footprint of a house can actually get more than just the footprint of the house. So for BartoCon, we plan on doing it for the first time, but I'm going to test it at the Hogwarts thing since it's at the same location.
Come on, Cal.
But that was pretty cool. We had 3 cameras going in the room.
Yeah,
Now
that was.
I think
I don't know if you can see her. This is Callie, my service dog. She's a blue heeler, border collie mix. Thanks to diabetes, she is currently blind.
Oh, no.
So I have a service dog, and she has a seeing eye human.
I thought Callie was her seeing eye dog. Or Lena, I meant.
Yeah, Lena can be. But Callie is, she's been with us for 9 years. She is an angel.
Oh, wow.
Since she's been blind, on the other hand, when anyone comes in the house, with the exception of my daughter, my wife, myself, or Mike, we get 35 to 45 minutes of barking.
Yep, you too, yeah.
Mike comes in the house, she barks for that long too.
Not 35 minutes. Usually after about 6 minutes, she's done. If Sharon is here, it's no longer than.
So what, am I
6 minutes.
special?
Yeah, it's special.
Jesus. I stay at the house at times, and the
Either
dog's
that-
still.
It's the smells from the store.
Oh, that's possible.
Because those dusts are going to stick in your hair. They're going to stick to your skin and your shoes.
I know Eugene said he was going to try and pop in. He's in the group.
We got 3 more space. We got 2 more spaces, guys. Come on, let's fill it up.
Crystal is at Shore Leave Convention. I'm sure she's probably working because I know she does some interesting setups and all, but she might not be working. She might just be enjoying it. I'm not sure. But I believe
she's not working. She should enjoy it. She's been there enough and been working the whole time.
And Eugene said that he was going to be at Shore Leave, I believe, as well. So if you're in Maryland area, have fun.
Maryland area.
Hey,
let's see. You say that's twice fast.
Maryland area.
There you go. I win.
So, how many people here are Starfleet Marine Corps? How's your reading?
I'm
going?
reservist.
Reservist.
I'm a reservist.
How's your reading going?
Well, we're reservist.
What reading?
Yep.
Commandant's challenge.
There's a challenge for reading.
Oh, is that like the step challenge?
Yeah, I just decided I wasn't going to get involved because I
Wait.
read at least 7 books a week.
Hold on. Let's back this up. Did you just ask how's the reading challenge for Marines? Crown eating sounds like.
He just doesn't realize that Marines in the real world have to get better IQ, better testing, and better schooling than any other branch. To join.
Controversy.
We're not stupid. They just felt our education was done, and we've got to prove it. And then they turn around and say, "This is how you."
It
kill
is
people.
funny that we can get in the Army infantry with 32, and it takes them 35 to get into the Marines.
And that's our lowest educational standard.
I looked at it. Wait. So basically, you get into either one of them with spelling your name right. However, with the Army, you can spell one letter wrong.
And still be right.
Yep.
Well, that does sound like the Army.
But I'm saying an ASVAB score of 35 is like.
Yeah, you just looked at the book and then just started marking it.
You'll get a higher score by randomly marking. I got. Depends on which score you go by.
I remember the overall score. I got nothing.
The overall score was like an 88, but the engineering was 140 something. I could do everything but make nuclear bombs.
Every time I turned around.
Well, thank goodness for that last bit because, no offense, Sean, I don't want you making me nuclear bombs.
So they're quite easy if you know the general physics.
They just wouldn't allow me to have the material. They probably could have made it out of what I had in the science club.
For the most part, yeah.
I did make an armed missile.
Yeah, but you needed radium to make it.
Well, there you go.
My science club teacher was in the artillery for National Guard, and he said the stuff to make the gunpowder is there, the formula is there, and the black gunpowder's over there.
Yeah.
Did you just say I can make my rocket into a bomb? Okay. Where are we launching this? The softball field? Okay.
And how far is the administration? We had a lot of fun.
I launched a rocket with a B-66 motor. Put enough gunpowder in it between homemade and black gunpowder that it launched 6 seconds up in the air, and the 6-second delay before the thing blew up, the nose cone touched the ground.
Fortunately, it always blows up.
Well, what's funny is it was an Atlas-style nose cone, and the explosives were in the back. So the nose cone touched the ground, and it went poof. And I went, hey, look, I still have the nose cone. That went with the teacher when he moved.
When what I remember
So
most about
wait, Sean, can you show me all your fingers? Because in theory you shouldn't have all your fingers.
what I
Oh,
remember
absolutely.
most about middle school and high school, and what's scary is this was in the state of California, is certain times of the year you come out and the teacher would be walking between the cars, get to a truck, look in the back window and go, hey, is that a this? And the student would say, yeah. You in the gun club? No, you really should join. Hey, can I check that out? You want to come check out my this in my trunk? Now, if you come with a rubber band shooter on your finger, you get taken to jail.
You know, the sad part is it wasn't long ago that was true, because I remember going up to the teacher, the dean, and going, I need your golf cart keys. He goes, why? Well, y'all locked the gate, and I need to get all the rifles from the lockup to the armor or the range. He hands me the keys. Now, mind you, it was the keys to everything in campus. I'd go, okay, when do I need to bring it back? He goes, when you're done. Okay. 2 hours later, he gets his keys back. I'm like, I could have opened anything in the school. I knew where the good stuff was.
It was a different time.
That was a different time.
Yeah.
I remember carrying the rifle on the school bus,
I remember
right beside my trombone.
I remember our middle school, somebody had called the school and the school board and said they were going to our school and they were going to kill a particular member of the staff with a gun. Well, the next 3 weeks, there was at least eight students carrying weapons with 12 police officers just patrolling the school property. And if you got on that, you got a super good shot towards your grades. I'm so lucky. I was on all 4 days.
All right. I've got to skedaddle off to another thing. So,
Well,
pleasure seeing you all.
we
Take
have
care,
been
Richard.
here an hour and a half, so
Yeah, and I've got Special Olympics tomorrow.
Well, good luck with that.
Yeah,
So-
good luck.
Thanks a
Good
lot
luck,
for being
Prosper.
here.
Night night.
and have a nice night.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Mhm.